Hey guys, how's it going? It's your buddy Jake Dominguez back with some movie news. So, I'm gonna say right off the bat, this is gonna be a little different than most other movie news videos that I've made in the past and other videos I've made in the past. This is kind of dealing with a much more sadder and serious subject. And I was debating even saying this or not, but I might as well say it and just be honest with you guys. But due to the nature of what I want to talk about and the nature of this story, this video is not going to be monetized. I'm going to not monetize this video. I'll explain more as the video goes on, but just so you guys know, little different. This is a pretty sad day, and it's involving a subject that it sounds weird to say I'm passionate about it, but it's something that I want to talk to you guys about. So, a lot of you guys have probably heard, we've gotten some news today on the 22nd of May that Zack Snyder is stepping down as director of the film Justice League. He is stepping down because of a family tragedy. Now, the film is in post-production right now, and so some of the reshoots and etc., all the other post-production stuff like editing and the score and all of that stuff will be taken over by writer-director Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon was actually already on board to help write some new scenes for these reshoots and that sort of thing, which is pretty normal for Joss Whedon to do. He's done more rewriting and stuff like that than actual shows and movies that he's made. That's pretty normal in most of these big Hollywood movies in general. But he's going to come on board to be a kind of a director to oversee the last few months of post-production on Justice League before its release in November. Now, this is a story from the True Hollywood Reporter, or just the Hollywood Reporter. True Hollywood Reporter. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I'm going to read from some of this article, which I'm going to put down in the description below. But what a terrible tragedy. Long story short, the daughter of a Zack Snyder and his wife, Deborah Snyder, who produces his films, they work together. Their daughter committed suicide in March of this year. And she was 20 years old. I believe her name was Autumn. Yes, Autumn Snyder. And she was 20 years old, and in March she committed suicide. In this article, it talks about how this production of Justice League basically had a 2-week or so kind of break in production just so the Snyder family could kind of have like a funeral and that sort of thing to kind of mourn her and kind of deal with the immediate kind of aftermaths of her death. But Zack Snyder has come to the conclusion after working for the past few months that he just needs time to be with his family and to mourn and that sort of thing. Let me read from this article right now. So, this is a quote directly from Zack Snyder on his decision to leave. Quote, "In my mind, I thought it was a cathartic thing to go back to work, to just bury myself and see if that was the way through it," said an emotional Snyder in an interview Monday in his office in the Warner Brothers lot with Deborah sitting by his side. Quote again, "The demands of this job are pretty intense. It is all-consuming. And in the last 2 months, I've come to the realization I've decided to take a step back from the movie to be with my family, be with my kids who really need me. They are all having a hard time. I'm having a hard time." Close quote. Later in the article, he says another quote that I'm going to quote right now about their decision to make this all public. "Here's the thing. I never planned to make this public. I thought it would just be in the family, a private matter, our private sorrow that we would deal with. When it became obvious that I need to take a break, I knew there would be narratives created on the internet. They'll do what they do. The truth is, I'm past caring about that kind of thing now." He continues to say, let me find it. "I want the movie to be amazing, and I'm a fan, but that all pales pretty quickly in comparison. I know the fans are going to be worried about the movie, but there are 7 other kids that need me. In the end, it's just a movie. It's a great movie, but it's just a movie." Close quote. Sorry guys, I wasn't completely prepared on knowing where to read in the article. I'm usually pretty prepared to write notes and stuff like that, but I'm just turning on the camera talking. I wasn't initially planning on reporting on this until it happened, but I don't know what more to say than that. I feel like you can look at what he said and you can learn a lot about the dangers of the internet culture that we live in now and the toxic terribleness that exists in so many fandoms on the web. That's a whole nother conversation, and it's terrible. But what a terrible tragedy. I can't even comprehend what it would be like to be in the shoes of that family. It's beyond comprehension. I cannot even begin to imagine what that's like. That is so unbelievably terrible. Now, this is a lot bigger than just movie news. I'm excited for Justice League. You guys know I'm a big DC fan. You guys know what a big Zack Snyder fan I am. In fact, looky here. I have 2 of his films right here, which I've watched many times. But you know what? This is a lot bigger than that. And what a terrible situation. I don't know what more to say than that. I commend Warner Brothers for being on board with the Snyders and giving them the opportunity to do this. One interesting thing is that they initially, that is Warner Brothers, wanted to postpone the release of Justice League, but the Snyders didn't want to do that. They said, no, let's release this movie in November like it's originally planned, which is awesome. Say what you will about Zack Snyder, but man, does that guy care about his fans. And just, I commend the Snyders for making this incredibly difficult decision. I can't even imagine what it'd be like to leave your movie, even for that matter, and have someone else kind of ghost directing it, if you will. Obviously, Justice League will still be his film. It's still very much his thing. This is still Zack Snyder's movie, but obviously Joss Whedon's going to come and finish it. So I can't even put into words what that must be like. I keep on repeating that, I'm sorry, but what more can you say about that? It is truly terrible. And in a way, I respect them for being honest and so open in this interview, which again is down in the description below. I respect him for leaving and for doing the right thing for his family. I think in Hollywood, the cliche we have in our heads is of filmmakers and studio heads not putting their families first, right? Isn't that the cliche of getting people having 5 wives in Hollywood? Not like, divorced 5 times, not like polygamy, that would come out right. Anyway, you guys know what I mean. It's not known as the most family-friendly place. And for him to leave a big studio production to be with his family, to mourn with them, I commend them for that. I know it's just a matter of what he needs to do for his family. But in general, to be honest and say this is more important than a movie, I commend them for that. Really, it's such a terrible situation. I feel like that's the best you can do with it. Guys, this is a horrible thing. And again, it's bigger. I kind of got off topic. Again, this is so unplanned, this video, but this is so much bigger than movie news. Again, I can't imagine what it'd be like to be in their shoes right now. I don't want to pretend that I know that. That's why I keep on repeating that. However, I've struggled with depression in my life. I've struggled with very serious depression in my life. Now, I don't want to get too open about that on this video or on the internet. I don't want to get too specific. But I've been in some dark periods in my life. And I'll say this, it's kind of a miracle that I'm I'm not sitting, I'm standing, but you know what I mean. I'm standing here talking to you guys right now on YouTube. And because of many miracles, I am here talking to you right now. I've definitely been through some dark periods in my life. And this is a pretty sad day. Earlier today, there's news of this terrible tragedy, this attack that happened in Manchester, which is terrible. How can you even comprehend that? And this combined with the news of the Snyder family and all of that, it really makes you think, and it makes you appreciate what you have. And what I want to say is that if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling like you can't escape the sadness and despair around you, if you feel like no one understands you, if you feel alone and afraid, if there's nights where you go to sleep and you cry for no reason, if there's times where you feel completely hopeless, if there's times where you feel completely pointless, if there's times where you feel about taking away the biggest gift that we have, our lives, I want you to know I can't pretend like I know what you're going through, but I've been through those situations. They're unique to you, but I've been in your shoes. In fact, hundreds of thousands of people have been in your shoes and have made it out okay. Suicide is not the answer. It is a short-term solution. Excuse me, a long-term solution to a very short-term problem. Whatever problems you have, and I don't know what they are. I'm sorry, but I don't know what problems you're going through in your life. But they're not worth taking your own life. And all the terrible things we have in this world, it all can change with one step. And that one step can only come from you. I don't know what it is. But if you make that one step, you can change your situation. You could even change the world. There's not much I can do to help you. I'm just a guy talking to a camera. But I can't even imagine how terrible the Snyder family feels right now. Think of, you have people, if anything, you have me, who will feel terrible, lost, and broken if you make the decision, again, to give away the greatest gift that you have, your life. I promise you that no matter who you are, even if I've never met you face to face, if you're watching this video right now, I'm your friend. I say that in every video that I make because it's true. I am your friend. And I honestly am always going to be there for you. And I love talking and chatting with people down in the comments below and all of that. So please know that if anything else, I will be devastated if you take away your life. In fact, I know tons of other people will too. Tons of people, including people who aren't even born yet, generations after. So with whatever little thing it's worth, even if it doesn't affect very much, and I know that, I care about you. I know tons of other people do too. And if you're struggling with depression or suicide or whatever it is, please don't hesitate to get help. When I look back on my life, I know some of the darker parts could have been solved and helped with a lot better if I had gotten help a lot quicker. It was when I got help is the reason I'm talking to you guys right now. So please, I promise you, there are people out there who want to help you and who will get help for you. Don't be afraid. Don't be embarrassed. Tons of people have gone through what you're going through, whatever that might be. And there are people who will help you out. Down below in the comments section below and in the description, I have put different national suicide hotlines and stuff like that. Go ahead and please do not hesitate to check those out below if you think they will help you out. Go and get help. I promise you won't regret it. Because I promise you that help is out there. And again, I know that you can change the world. I know that you have a purpose in this world. Well, no matter what the despair and the depression are lying to you about, you do have a purpose. So please, don't hesitate to get help and know that I know you can get through this. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry that it's a little different than my past videos, but I hope on this kind of sad day that it helps somebody out. With my thoughts and prayers and love go to Zack Snyder and his wife and his children right now. Adam Snyder, may you rest in peace. You guys are the greatest, and never forget, I say it every time, I'm your friend. I'm always going to be there for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.